Racing at
taking part in the SARCO be absolutely vital. Watch out for those.
Listen, I can tell you on this track, just don't have that straight line speed, but we'll see what happens. Still really looking forward to it. We do have 14 drivers in our Bravo tier. They are ready. I think let's get up the
Black Boys.
So Dylan, I did a couple of laps around this Monza track this evening. I would say probably
up into that little practice session with them. Really,
yes,
Morris Bortma, who I'm going to be
a 152, but that's when the track was pretty dry. Particularly in MW, has plenty of these. So watch out for Rudy bars and I think. Yolan, yeah, in those two yellow BMWs here for the Bravo tier race this evening.
So Ash, while we're just getting loaded, I'm looking at the message. We got ZA Racing saying what's happening, a SARCO, a Mofos, everything good in the hood, as well as Johan VDV. He is, oh yes, okay, I am seeing it buzzing there. So remember guys, as they have come into the lobby, this is the thing off the line there. And moving out in front, and that is already Yolan, got an absolute cracker of a start. But now, as we've got 14 drivers heading towards their little spin on the order, now down in 12th place.
Yeah, not having a very good start there, running around. They came onto the track again, and now down in 14th position. James Nisley.
Yeah, that curb on the outside, and it's very, very tricky. But now, as we follow the guys now coming through, we kind of missed it. He's now down to 13th place, and he came through there just about in 8th position.
So a great start here for the lobby. Just for luck. Yellow, you lucky fellow.
As well as Morris. I think Morris currently but get himself back up on that. There we go. So that is Nidmar straight line speed advantage.
And seems
just
the BMWs has dropped, and I think it was
Adrian Bond is out in a straight line up in behind,
using his windscreen wiper.
Necessarily need wipers. This is some really good of Peter Brunt, which has got and of those
front at
James
the moment.
Getting a cord going through there.
Starting to get cautious with down their car and to get that power on, and that's when we start seeing the guys making little mistakes.
And I'm wondering whether Adrian will start himself and hunting him down, and is let's go, and
we pretty much halfway consistent he's been through.
Force him off because that place him is starting to go through the second Lesmo into the wall,
which I thought would have. I know he started going, considering those top third position start in the next race, will be on the second row.
Just jump there to 5th place because and you can see that
Adrian now. And his
a little bit of that track is not close enough, so
it looks like he's got
the same problem.
Bit of lag there. Africa, not quite.
Ash just jumped there to newcomer Turbo behind either a Facebook page and Morris. Good evening, Unitmaster. No, very.
Yeah, you can see
he had a
totally missing his mark there, Nidmaster, and going to the back of. Poor Silver, but yeah, position. So
you can see down in we do have 22 seconds. What happens in the
turf here? It's evening for the Bravo tiers. First grid position. So wet as what, and then the guy he's just in there.
If you're out in front like that, it's just about and
fast on that. Difficult race for. Where will, as they approach the line, get a pit stop break.
But I'm back. Talk to me, but
okay, I'm just checking.
6, no. That Turbo is going to be leading us away this evening. And I'm pretty sure that our Rockstar Mel is already putting us up and running. The rooster tail that comes, which means the track into the race in the dark.
What you paid for.
he is in 5th place. He does need to drop down one. Adrian and himself place. Peter Brandt just moving over to the left and allowing him to go on in 4th. We normally see that Hot Wheels
I love the sound.
championship in the Audi, and it was bright green and black. But of course, that was when the green numbers official. As we now head, and just before he gets coming off the track, and now dropping down the order. So that was a Gerard car. Rudy was in 4th place. We saw him down into 6th place. Peter Brandt up into 5th. Space being a squeeze there. Peter Brandt on Rudy in 4th place. Jump one position down there, please, or 2 positions. There we go. So Rudy's been able to stay ahead on the back of.
And Rudy under all sorts of pressure now from Peter Brandt right behind all round from all the drivers at the moment. In the background we have Marius.
Awareness there. And now they're going to be a 3 wide as they cross the start finish line. It is going to be an absolutely a drag race to the braking zone. And is the Audi good on the brakes compared to the BMW down? You can see Morris just waiting for, and unfortunately Louis going off. But this race is just congest the.
Sorry, Dylan, I had to just jump to the front of the field here. And we have Cutting Beef challenging for that first position. And looks like he's got a good drive.
Takes the nose off of that Ferrari, which means that the turbo is pretty slow coming through Ascari. And that's going to allow Raf, Rudy and Peter Brandt most definitely to get right confident that the car should be there, yet he's being able to hold
very strong in that Ferrari this evening.
Coming out of Parabolica, and that was the confirmation there. But now Rudy and Raf on the outside through Bassiano.
Just to hold on to the position. Now chasing down Cutting Beef. Look at Rudy right behind him through this section. Seems to have a lot more.
He's not dropped down.
Yep.
That BMW be able to have a look onto the inside coming through Parabolica, or will Rudy try and leave it for the first chicane?
A very close battle, and while these guys are battling for 2nd position, look at that gap between Duncan. It's just increasing ever so slightly. They lost lap, then these guys battling out for 2nd position.
Just slow down battle just yet. Ferrari. Rudy, I think he got away with taking a lot of that curb.
Has massive tyres. As the tuck gap ever so slightly.
So Ash, 151. Welcome to the SARCO. Oh my gosh. And I can't believe how often that flipping happens. Like on a 153.
What's happening behind him is pretty much turn off his mirrors and he's focused on the job. This race. Go, and that gap of 2.5 seconds.
Duncan was in 3rd. Starting to just take away that time between himself and the Porsche. That was 4 seconds, just over 1.5 laps ago. And you can see that now down to keeping that Ferrari very, very honest.
Yeah, he's picked up where, where Peter is stronger. And also using in the car as a reference that I think we are in for at the end of this race.
Yes, that BMW, that gap, because you can see that the car was a lot more stable going through the chicane. He was able to get that power on, where Rudy was constantly fighting that car trying to get it slowed down, get it turned in, while Peter Brandt was already able to accelerate.
Look at that time from Rudy's line.
So we're currently looking at Nid Master, who's trying to chase down Adrian Bond. And where has this time gone? There's only 6 minutes left of this race. That curb, it is extremely dangerous.
Good recovery from him in this race. Up ahead, not much slower than that. So it's going to be a pretty tall asked to close that gap. There were 4 seconds between those guys, and 5.5 minutes left on the clock. And opening up a bit of a gap now, trying to close that gap between himself and Duncan in first position. And Duncan doing everything he can to hold on to that first position. He knows how quick that Ferrari is. He knows how consistent Peter Brunt has been this whole season. Duncan hold on for his first race win this season.
So I do believe that he can do it. He just must not look back. He just needs to keep going the direction he's going. Because as soon as you start looking back, that's when you start thinking about maybe I should maybe I should make a little mistake over here, and then so he does. Whereas just put your head down, hit those braking markers, don't look at the driver behind you, because you can see that Peter Brunt now within a second, so he is going to start getting that slipstream advantage, and PB has now left the BMW behind.
Half a second, we're going to see Peter Brunt side for this first chicane and take that first position. So yeah, does get a little bit closer, but doesn't look. Takes the first chicane.
As much as I want Duncan to win, I think it is just a matter of time. Because PB is very patient. He is touch of a curb somewhere that car spins, and all of a sudden we got a whole new race on our hands.
Oh, there was a little mistake there from Peter Brunt, and you can see how Duncan has also increased his concentration and trying to increase that gap out of the race. 2 minutes left on the clock.
We will have one last lap. But look at that Ferrari just closing down on that the Porsche.
And I must say, one of the most exciting races that we've seen so far this season.
So just to change that angle in, and you can see PB just not able to get that car turned in, and Duncan got a really good exit there. So he'll now go to the outside. On the inside. So PB's gonna hits the sausage curb, but he still manages to stay ahead of the Porsche, and I'm sure that Duncan is swearing under.
Is Duncan giving the flash? Trying to distract him. Will it work? Oh, it kind of has a little bit. But Peter Brunt holding it on there. Last corner, ladies and gentlemen.
Car lens, that camera was very deceiving, because it looked like he was right on his bumper. But there we have it.
Added drag race to the line. Well done.
And what a great drive there from Rudy as well, coming home in third place. Look at that, first, second and third.
Managing to get up to fourth position, so a epic drive there from Louis. In fifth position, Mr. Bond. In sixth, we have Lidmeister. That was very close there. In 10th, Dane coming home in 11th. Colin coming around the final corner in 12th position. 13th, we have James. So Duncan. Well done.
It does it again.
No ways. On the controller.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. Well done, mate.
Thank you.
So I guess let me just get Peter Brunt, if you could join us in the commentary box.
So it is PB a dunk 2 points.
So James, are you able to assist us, please?
Okay, good evening, guys. What W? We thought it would have a lot more grunt down the straights compared to the Ferraris, but those Ferraris were so quick, and they seem to be a little bit more nimble through the corners. Just take us through the race, 2/3 for you, but I'm sure you're happy with your result.
Yeah, like you said, couldn't get the power down, kept spinning the tires, had to try to keep control of it every single time. Every time I catch up, and then the Ferrari just pulls away again. And yeah, out of the corners, he's fast. These guys are flying. But very happy with the result.
No, absolutely awesome. It was so amazing to see, especially on the brakes. BMW was just swirling all over the place, while the Ferrari was just nice and easy into the braking zone. It just looked so much of an easier drive versus that BMW. So definitely hats off to you. Let's go to you, Duncan, Mr. Controller. Last lap, and PB takes that first win away from you. I'm pretty sure you were swearing under that helmet.
My race wasn't with him at all. But it was slowing.
Little Porsche did absolutely phenomenally. It was extremely quick along the straights. I could not believe that in terms of the straight line speed, it was keeping up to the Ferraris, and it was definitely getting the power down a lot more efficiently than the Purbin. But I chose the number. Let's go to you, PB. Flawless racing once again. But listen, we can't say that this was easier. This was definitely not an easy race for you, that's for sure.
Wait. But yeah, brilliant race.
Easy. Time your sex tape.
But yeah, brilliant race. Well done. And yeah, to cutting beef, yes, 40. Thanks, guys. Good races, good sportsmanship.
Absolutely awesome, guys. Thank you so much. Don't forget to join us on the live stream as we now head over to our Alpha tier. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
What was the Honda or the Acura?
I'm going to quickly get a word from our sponsor. Guys, if you would like to find out more about Deliver Your Parcel, all the details are in the description, so you are able to just go have a look there. They do any collections or deliveries. You're able to definitely make use of Deliver Your Parcel.
And then there'll be an exclamation mark next to a driver if they are close to another driver. That's where the action is.
Okay.
So when you see that, flip over to that driver, and then you'll see the action with close driving between those two.
So guys, we can just hear Ashley in the background. We've got one of our drivers just and Stephen, who is not at home at this stage.
And then that menu is normally like at the bottom, eh? So it's...
I'll just turn that off so we don't have to hear what's happening there. So guys, just having a look at the stream, there's comments coming through. So we've got Brandon Hills, a couple of icons that haven't really come through, but there's talking about a sanitizer, Brandon Hills. And then Stain, you're saying, how's it guys? Hello Stain, I hope you're well. Looking forward to seeing you racing with us in the upcoming PC League, brought to you by SARCO and Sonic Sim Racing. Guys, if you do dabble in some PC racing, we are going to be trying our hand on series and see how that goes.
So I'm not seeing Stephen in the lobby.
Ash, maybe just drop him a message on our Discord itself.
Stephen is out, Dylan, so I'll do the commentating and you go ahead. And James, if you could just make me the Jock, can you make me the director, please? And then James, not too straight. And then if you would like to come and join in the commentary box, unfortunately Stephen won't be able to make it this evening. Thank you so much anyway for offering your services. Thanks, James.
Okay, guys, just stand by. What's happened is, for some reason, my mouse has now disappeared and I can't see it, so I can't switch over my screen. Okay, I'm good to go, Ash.
Sorry, James, could you just exit the lobby, please? I just don't want you to disconnect during the race. James?
I leave.
Yes, sorry, man. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Okay, Ash,
Okay.
I'm changing over to the race. I'll see you on the other side. Enjoy.
Good luck.
Thank you kindly.
So, James, welcome to the virtual commentary box, and thank you for stepping in for Stephen's evening, who unfortunately is having some internet issues and is unable to assist us this evening. And feel free to give your opinion and any sort of comments that you want to input that you want to put in. It'd be greatly appreciated.
Sorry guys, go.
You can also watch the stream. Dylan, I see you've paused the screen on that side. Just going to pause my video there so that I don't... So I can save some battery on my phone. Yep. I've just disabled the mic. I've just disabled it. So, there we got it. First podium, I think that followed by Gav in second. Rockstar Mel getting that third position. And a old, or should I say, making a comeback, our previous SARCO champion, Mr. Flatout himself, who's going to be joining us this evening in the Alpha tier, starting in 4th position in that very nicely coloured Aston Martin. So it's pretty good to see him there. Well, thank you, Christopher, for joining us again. In 5th position, we have Brandon, and starting there in his Audi. And in 6th, we have Brandon Santos. The two Brandon Santos sharing a row there. Lights are out and away we go. And a good start there by Marius. Should I say, gets it a little bit sideways, losing the end of the car, and unfortunately making a real mess of that start. He now is right at the back of this grid. So out in front, we've got Brandon DeSantos, and right from the beginning, he's being chased down by Christopher. Christopher now managed to get past him, and we're going into the first chicane. Christopher leading, followed by Brandon Santos, and then Rockstar Mel in 3rd position. A very good start there also by Terry, now into 4th position, chasing down Rockstar Mel. Behind him we have Vaughn Hills, and right behind him Sly Pete. A bit of a scary moment there for Sly Pete, but managed to get past 6th, 7th, and 8th, all fighting for position there. I want to go back to the front of the field. We have Brandon Santos doing extremely well in that Lamborghini. We see somebody in the background there. I think that was Rockstar Mel getting it all out of shape and losing some time there. But Mr. Flatout himself, already with a commanding lead of a second over his rival there, Brandon Santos in second. So yeah, we have Sly Pete moving up quite up the field now into 4th position. On his inside, he has Terry, and just be on the side of him, that's Vaughn. So 3-car battle now, trying to get that position for 5th, fighting for that 5th position, 4th position. Sly Pete getting it a bit out of shape under the brakes there, and allowing Terry to go past. Terry now moves up into 4th position, chasing hard on the back of Rockstar Mel. In the background there, we do see Mr. Vaughn Hills. Looks like Christopher has made a bit of a mistake and has dropped down the field. And Brandon, that allows Brandon Santos now to move up into 1st position. So a very strong drive here from Brandon, getting a good start there, avoiding the collision on the first lap. And he now moves into 1st position, followed very closely by Rockstar Mel. Terry Wilford, we know him as national and international driver, joining us this evening, and in the last couple of races has been doing really well, especially the chasing down Rockstar Mel. Now tucked in right behind him, getting that slipstream. Let's see if he looks on the inside, tries to do the overtake. Shows himself in the mirrors. I'm just going back a bit. We see there Sly Pete challenging for that. There we see Brandon Santos making a mistake, and unfortunately spinning that car around, and it's dropped now down the field. So an unfortunate mistake there by Brandon. I think there might have been a contact between himself and Rockstar Mel, because now Terry's up into first position and doing exceptionally well in that McLaren. Christopher now moving up into second, so he's made a good recovery after battling or making a mistake earlier in this race. Oh, there was somebody in the background there, and I think that was Vaughn making a mistake in the background, going into the barrier, and hopefully he hasn't picked up too much damage and is able to continue. Sly Pete now moving himself up into third position, so all sorts of action happening out in front at the moment. And Sly Pete finding a bit of pace in that AMG. A very tricky vehicle to drive, but managing to do pretty well in the rain this evening. Oh, Dylan in the background losing it through the chicane there, and spinning right around. He'll have to wait for the entire field to come past. He now drops down into 12th position. Right in front, we have a change of position again as Christopher gets past Terry, and seems to have found a good rhythm again. Already making up some time, putting in a half a second gap. But just have a look at Sly Pete in the background there. That AMG is on fire this evening. He seems to have found great pace, doing a 155 there on that last lap. And as I say, that looks like we've lost Terry. I'm not too sure what happened to Terry there. He seems to have made a little bit of mistake and has dropped now into 6th position, and he has trouble from behind. That's Vaughn Hill and Marius right in the back of him, trying to fight, get through the field. Marius looks on the inside, but Terry closes that gap. Marius will just have to be a little patient. And you see that Terry runs a little bit onto the curb, and that will affect his drive out of the corner. And the three-way battle between these two phenomenal drivers. These three phenomenal drivers, should I say. But out in front, wow, look at this. A battle between AMG, Audi, and Bentley, all challenging for that second position. Epic racing here from all these drivers this evening. We see Christopher opening up that gap ever so slightly. Now 4 seconds, a 4-second lead from these guys who are battling for that second position. Object Mirror now dropping down to 6th position. As you see, a very interesting line there from Brandon. Brandon choosing to go on the inside, trying to find a bit of pace there. And just look at that AMG. Just open up its legs and manage to accelerate away from these guys, these Audis just behind him. Side by side, actually, between Brandon and Rockstar Mel. Mel coming off better there, managed to get past that 3rd position, and it's quite interesting to. So James, if you are still with us. How was your race this evening? I saw you had a little battle yourself with one or two drivers. Can you explain to us how the conditions were and what these guys will be experiencing right now?
Are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Perfect. So obviously as the race progresses, the wet conditions would start to affect the track. But definitely I think the slipstream, especially on the cars running loose, is also affecting the car behind him. So it's not necessarily pulling the car As I think it's difficult for the vehicle far behind to catch you. So as you see with the group that's packed, that's pretty much how they will stay. As long as you stay off the curbs, I would say you should have a nice race. And it's also not that difficult to keep up the pace throughout the lap. So yeah, there's just some corners that you need to look out for where there's wet spots.
Absolutely. So as he's making that AMG as wide as possible, now Brandon looking for a way past. He's in that Audi sandwich at the moment, trying to get past Rockstar Mel, who's found quite a bit of pace here this evening. We know that Rockstar Mel has been around for a very long time in the SARCO, so he's well experienced and knows exactly how to handle that vehicle. We see now that Brandon's getting a bit of a competition here from Gav. Gav looking to go on the outside as Brandon takes a little bit more defensive line, goes over that curve, and that's going to set the car a little bit and allow Gavin to just get a little bit more momentum coming out the chicane. And will we see him trying to dive on the inside, ready side by side with Brandon? He's now looking on the inside, and will Brandon give him the space to go past? Gives him quite a bit of space. Oh, there we see Gav losing the rear of the car, and unfortunately now dropping back in the field. So a good defensive racing there by Brandon Brandon Hills, should I say, and went on the outside, gave Gav enough room, but Gav trying to apply that accelerator a little bit too soon, and unfortunately losing the rear end of that Audi. So still out in front here with a 10-second lead. Mr. Flatout himself participating in an invitation drive. Remember, he hasn't driven the whole season. He's decided to join us this evening and just showing exactly what we've been missing. Commanding lead at the moment, 10-second lead on that previous lap. And it looks like Brandon has managed to get past Sly Pizza. He now moves into second position. So not sure what happened there, but Sly Pete not letting him get away just yet. And we see object in the mirror there. And look at the pace of that AMG. Just blasts past that Audi and moves back into the second position again. Unbelievable how he's able to get the power down there. So a great job there from Sly Pete. And we actually saw him in the rain at Fiji, how quick he was as well. Just going back to the field a bit, sixth position, Rockstar Mel has dropped down a bit after making a little mistake. Terry in seventh position. And Morris has now moved him. I'm sure he did pick up a little bit of damage from the start there. There were a couple of bumps as he spun the car around on the start. Just looking back in the field, we've got Dylan, who has dropped down into 10th position. He's now chasing Quicksilver. And it looks like he's stopped on the track. Oh, okay, a bit of a glitch there. I was a bit worried there for a second. Brandon Santos down in 11th and Vaughn in 12th at the moment. Of a traffic jam, yeah. From second, third, fourth, and fifth. We have Object the Mirror now moving up into second. Brandon in third. Sly Pete now drops down into fourth. And right on his tail is Marius, followed by Rockstar Mel and Terry. In the background we see Dylan going a little bit wide, but managing to save the car from spinning. But an epic battle here between these 4-5 drivers, giving it all they can to get those last two positions on the podium. Sly Pete using his muscle too successful. But just look at the might of that AMG. Just seems to have so much pace on the straight. As he opens up a 2-3 car length lead over the straight. And right behind him is Rockstar Mel. So, James, did you find towards the end of the race that the conditions became even more tricky? Was there any difference? 2 minutes left on the clock. Did you struggle at all with pace?
Yeah, definitely. The later the race, obviously, like I said earlier on, is the water just gets to you. But yeah, the car also feels that. So I think you're driving. You have a very stable, settled car in the beginning of the race. I would say after 2 laps when the tires is heated up. But then for the duration of the race, it feels like the nose end will come out on the Audi. Some cars you could see that good drivers had the arse coming out. There's a big accident at the back.
Yeah, I did see somebody going off a little bit wide. But I just want to watch this battle out in front here. Slight Pete. I mean, that AMG is absolutely flying. Count out Marius. That big V8 of that Cadillac is also pretty handy down the straights of the circuit. So Stallion out in front. Sorry, please go ahead.
No problem. There you could see the arse. So yeah, that's the conditions that they are currently dealing with. 1 minute odd to go, so I definitely think it was.
You see Marius almost getting really out of shape there.
So we had traction on and then stability off, just so you can feel the car a bit more. But yeah, definitely, I think if you had traction off, your foot on the pedal should be very, very, very smooth. I think an inch too much might bring out the arse too quickly.
Absolutely. So I'm just watching those times out in front at the moment. Still Christopher in the 153s, showing good pace there in a league of his own with a 17-second gap. Of course, these guys have been fighting for that second position in the entire race, so much power. And we just see that Bentley getting it slightly sideways as he tries to put the power down. The track now very, very slippery as it's been raining non-stop for 20 minutes. And just remember that we have a progress to time times 5, so it's pretty much an hour's worth of, if not more, over hours worth in, if you had to calculate that out, of rain.
Definitely in the front of you, not making mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely. So he'll be crossing the line, picking up a first position on his first race back in SARCO. He crosses the line with an 18-second gap in second position. A good fight. Murray goes a little bit wide in third position, followed by Marius. A good comeback from him. Brandon Hills in fifth. Gavin finishing up in sixth. Seventh position, Dylan with a good recovery. Then we have Vaughn Hills in 10th position, followed by Brandon DeSantos. So guys, still one more race to go. We will have a reverse grid of this race. So we will see Gav starting in pole position for the next race, followed by Brandon Hills, then Morris in third, Mr. Flat Out himself in sixth position.
could see by Dylan's face that was a tough race.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, he did not have the power compared to the rest of the vehicles on the track. I think that Honda is a 400cc compared to the rest of the vehicles. And you could see on the straights, he was battling to keep the pace of the guys out in front. But that vehicle has shown quite a bit of pace in the tight street circuits. We saw him take a win at Long Beach and coming in second position in the previous race. So it does have advantages on the tighter circuit.
Yeah, it seems to be a vehicle that is familiar with, especially coming back from almost back of the pack to seventh position. Yeah, so that's not.
No, not too bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
For sure. So while we wait for those drivers just to sort them, just to explain to the viewers, the next race will be a rolling start. The time will change as well. The guys will be starting at 7 o'clock as opposed to 2 o'clock. How the race pans out, the track will be slightly colder compared to the first race, which will make conditions a little bit more tricky, and it will get a little bit dark around about that time, so the guys will have to spot their braking to order from first to sixth, and then the rest of the field will follow.
I don't know if you saw, I was trying to make that McLaren as wide as possible.
Yeah, listen, Dirk, I actually got a fright when I went on the inside of his.
So how does Flow Rider toss it away, turn 3, first lap, comes back, hiding second to none?
Because he's Flow Rider.
I saw Flow Rider's pretty cross after that. That's good.
Okay, hopefully I can bugger this now.
Yeah.
I'm kidding now.
So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. The guys are getting ready to go. We should see a start within the next couple of minutes. And a shout out to our sponsor, Deliver, which are proud sponsors of this evening's racing. Thank you to them. And guys, if you want to check out their specials, check out their... you can contact the guys there from Deliver My Parcel. Check out all the information. If you mention SARCO, you will get some sort of discount for any deliveries across South Africa. So, James, do you enjoy the standing start or the rolling start?
I think the rolling start is actually a bit more smooth. Yeah, the standing start is actually a bit more bunched than the rolling start. So I prefer the rolling start. I think it's just
able to get a much cleaner getaway. And we do see Dylan going to the back of poor Turkey there.
There we hear Dylan saying that it was a glitch in the system.
Or just a glitch on the foot.
Yeah, could be.
The guys are just getting into position there. Dylan, if you can hear us, can you just turn down your mic a bit, please. It's just making listening a little bit difficult. Sixth position, we have Object in the Mirror, who came in second, down in fifth. In fourth, we have Sly Pete and Mario. Just watch out for Gav. He's been pretty strong this whole season. Just been a bit unlucky, I think, not to pick up, show what he can do. But he just needs to remember he needs to back up the rest of the field. Just slow it down a bit so that everybody can bunch up and get this race underway. So there we see the guys now bunching up now. We'll see in a couple of minutes now. And first and third. And I wish cameraman Tim could just find a better view here. Goes onto the inside, looks for a way pass, and makes the count. Gets a little bit out of shape, and will you see Slappy fight back, accelerates away from the AMG. And Brandon opening up a bit of a gap now on Origins is just a sound that has to be heard. Fantastic in every way. And if you look at the back there, we see Mario following very closely behind that big Chrysler. Already a second lead there from Gav. Gavin doing pretty well so far to maintain that gap between himself and Brandon. Further down the field, we have Sly Pete still managing in sixth position after being overtaken by Christopher. Christopher now going on the outside of Object in the Mirror, looking for a way. His mirror's full of Mr. Flatout himself, who won the first race, and already within 2 laps, has moved himself up into fourth position. Further down the field, we have a Quicksilver in 7th position, followed by Dylan in 8th. Terry dropping down into 9th, followed by Vaughn Hills in 10th, Brandon Santos in 11th, and Rockstar Mel in 12th at the moment. Out in front, Gavin still with that 1 second lead over pretty wide, getting a good exit. And so far doing a fairly good job holding on to that first position. But out in third at the moment, we have Christopher getting past Marius, moving himself now into third position. Marius drops down into fourth, and just simply does not have an answer for that Aston Martin that seems to be finding quite a bit of pace here this evening on the Monza.
Suggested Gavin probably try and keep him at bay as far as possible, knowing that he had a 16-second lead in the previous race. So by calculations, after 5 laps he should be...
We know these two drivers are fierce rivals. But doing an absolutely great job at the moment. Look at those times, 153.9, 153.7, 153.5. So it just shows you the pace of those top 3. Pretty similar.
But, yeah.
So Gavin doing exceptionally well to keep that lead at the moment, with 16 minutes left on the clock. And the sun's starting to go down now at Monza.
Very clean, like the race lines, and I would almost want to say that the spray is not as much
Well, it's still pretty early in the race, but I'm sure towards the end of this race we're going to see massive plumes of water coming off those cars. But the times, as you mentioned, are pretty good at the moment. I mean, 153s, so they are finding quite fast. Christopher is, and already he's closed down on that. So those two within a second now from Brandon. And don't count out Morris there in fourth position. He'll be itching. Looked like he got a little bit sideways coming through that last corner. And now he has Brandon on his tail, getting that slipstream, adding that pressure once again. So this is the view from Christopher's car with the two guys battling ahead at the moment, flashing lights at each other. We see Brandon goes on the inside, trying to find a way past Christopher. Trying to pick which guy is going to get out this corner the quickest, and following him, he's going to go for Brandon. He's going to try to get the slipstream from Brandon, but where does he go? There is simply no space, but look at the pace of that to first position.
So he just made himself a third race line.
Absolutely. A fantastic move there from Christopher getting past. And we saw how close they were at Fiji as well. So a bit of payback for Brandon. Oh, we see Morris in the background. Just getting a little bit out of shape there. He seems to be a little bit uncomfortable in that Chrysler this evening. I mean, I think Christopher's made a slight mistake because Brandon's now found a bit of pace. He's right in the back of Christopher, trying to find a way past. Well, we see Brandon try, have a look on the inside. He does. But opens up that gap now a little bit between himself and Brandon. Now moving up to 1 second. Just want to go down further back in the field. We have, looks like Quicksilver has got past Sly Pete. So Sly Pete perhaps making a little bit of mistake there, or just the pace of Quicksilver has managed to get past him. Still pushing that car as quick as they can. Terry in 9th position at the moment, and Rockstar Mile in 10th. Object in the mirror has dropped right down into 11th, so not too sure what happened there. At one point he was doing very well. Now into 11th position, followed by Brandon Santos in 12th.
You can also see that the race times has been affected now, so there's a second slow off the pace.
Yep.
Except for Flatfoot, he picked up a second, but I think it's because he's out in front now.
And as you say, following cars around here is not easy. I mean, you've got to contend with the spray. You've got to be worried about where they're braking. Are they on the right side of the track? All these things that come into your mind as you're following a car. And it just makes your confidence drop off slightly. And you can see now the difference between when Christopher was following as to now with a clear track ahead of him.
But also safe to say that in the 7th lap, even though he came from the back, he's not breaking away as quickly as he did in the first race.
The extreme amounts of pace this whole season as well. They'll have a bit of advantage on these long straights. But
to be corrected, but it's V12.
I think it's a V12. So yeah, I mean, extra 2 cylinders down here, and I think it's making all the difference this evening.
Yeah, I think with Marius, I think he's done the most cylinders with that V8 Chrysler of his.
Oh, Morris getting out of shape once again on that corner. We saw him in the first race, also losing it and touching the barrier. So just pushing a little bit too hard, trying to keep on the back of these Audis that have been pretty strong this evening as well.
You see, Ash, how the top 3 runners try and stay at the middle of the track. I think with Marius, he's just touching that curb, and that just throws that car out.
Yeah, it's very slippery. Absolutely, 100%. So you see now Gav taking the inside line, trying to find grip on the inside there, moves to the outside, now tries to tuck in behind Brandon. See if he can get that slipstream. Getting ever so close. He looks on the inside. Will he try outbrake Brandon? Nope. He tucks in behind again, and they get very, very close there. Almost look like a touch there. But will Gavin get a better drive? Looks like he has. Once again, he tucks behind Brandon, and looking on the outside to get past him. These drivers are extremely close at the moment. He goes on for the inside. Will he try outbrake Brandon? They get side by side. Whoa, very close there. Brandon goes a little bit too deep. Goes over the sausage and loses a bit of momentum there. Now Marius on the back of Brandon trying to get past. Gavin gets past. Goes into second position. And a good epic battle between these two drivers. Gavin getting back into second position. But it's not over yet. We still have 8 minutes left on the clock. Marius now joining the party. He sniffs the chance of getting that podium. And as he takes on Brandon, goes on the inside. Will he be able to? Looks like he's able to make that pass. So Brandon losing 2 places now on that place after running a bit deep and hitting that sausage curb. But let's see that Audi try. You see Marius weaving around, trying to break the toe of that Audi. Good action racing between Gavin, Marius, and Brandon Hills. Track starting to get darker now. You can see those lights came into play with the rain, the lights, the braking markers, and everything comes. Oh, you see Marius touches the back of Gavin, and very, very close to spinning that car around. Maybe perhaps just watching his mirrors a little bit too much and then missing his braking spot. But no harm, no done there. So, but Gavin will know that Marius is right behind him now, and that'll just add that extra pressure. At the same time, Brandon is not letting Marius get away, so both those cars fighting for position. We get to see Marius gets a little bit out of shape there, trying to add the pressure onto Gavin. At the same time, losing momentum to Brandon behind him. Goes onto the curb there, and look in the background. I think that's Durkee, who's starting to catch these three, battling out for that second position.
See that this fight has just once again added seconds to their gap from second to first, with a 5.7 to 6 second lead now of Flatfoot. So yeah, rubbing is racing, but it obviously affects the gap.
No, absolutely. Well, you can see that side by side there between Marius and Gav. Gav going on the outside, Marius on the inside. Now look at Brandon. Brandon taking a different route. He now gets side by side with Marius, and let's just see if Marius can then get the toe from Gavin. Gavin goes defensive. Morris now on the outside. Who will get into this first? Looks like Morris is slightly ahead. Manages to outbreak Gavin. And Gavin losing out there. Morris with a brilliant overtake move, getting past both the Audis, now into second position. But this race is not over yet. We still have 4.5 minutes on the clock. Good racing from these top three. And don't forget about old Durkee in the background. He's catching this pack. He has the opportunity to fight. Oh, we get very close racing there. Marius and Gavin touching each other. Nearly spinning. Oh, then we see Brandon making a mistake and going into the barrier, so that drops him now further down the field. So, which will then ease the pressure off these guys out of front. Durkee goes a bit wide, so pushing a little bit too hard there and goes off the track, losing valuable time to this battle out in front. And that will relieve the pressure for Morris. Morris now opening up that gap between himself and Gavin. Gavin will have to try everything that he can to try close that gap now, because once Morris finds a little bit of open space, it's almost game over.
You can see that his pace is starting to pick up.
Yep, because he has pretty much a clear track ahead of him at the moment, so he's not picking up any spray or any sort of interference from the guys fighting around him.
Just shows you how the dynamics of this racing can change.
Absolutely.
Marius was the fourth contender for the last 5 laps. Now he's second. And Brandon is basically where he was pushing for second. He's now in 5th place. So, yeah, just a slight mistake. I think he went into the back of Gavin a bit, and that made his car overturn and unfortunately threw him out of the street pack.
So we're going to cut down into 6th position. Sly Pete still got a bit of pressure from the other Vaughn, the other Hills brother, which is in 7th position at the moment. So in bit of a heel sandwich there we see Brandon. I think he's picked up a bit of damage from that spin earlier, because that car is definitely not handling like it was during the course of the race. Probably flat spotted his tires from that spin earlier, and he is really struggling. That moves Dylan now into 7th position, Vaughn Hills into 6th, and Sly Pete into 5th. So that gap between Morris and Gav now has increased by over a second. So Morris with much better breathing space now between himself and Gavin. Now with 1.5 minutes left on the clock, he just needs to bring that Chrysler home and pick up that 2nd place.
It makes me wonder if hanging back for Marius wasn't the game changer. So, because Gavin and Brandon were pushing so hard, I think they might have, played the tires a bit harder than what Marius have. And it just seems like he's finding a bit more grip in the slower corners.
No, absolutely. We did see a bit of bumping and rubbing from those two drivers early in the race, and that possibly could have caused a little bit of damage on both their vehicles. And like you said, Morris was just hanging back, waiting for those two to come together and playing the long game, and has managed to get past now. So a brilliant job there from Marius. And looks like he's even picking up a bit of pace, finding a bit of pace between himself. Ooh, gets a bit sideways there, but keeps that car in check. Out in front, Christopher was still that commanding lead of 9 seconds now on his final lap. doing a super job this evening. Decided you missed the guys, wanted to come out and spend a bit of time with us. Got into the car, did a couple of laps, and suddenly he was back up to race pace again. Just shows you the capabilities of this young man.
He's just got amazing pace, and his driving line does not change for no reason. Not when he was behind vehicles, when he's on his own. So you could see that he's
very consistent.
So consistent that car basically is coasted, but at a super pace.
So Christopher picking up the win in second position is Marius, followed by Gavin in fourth position. Quicksilver with a good race there for him, good solid race coming up the field and finishing in fourth. Vaughn Hills also had a bit of a struggle through the race, now finishing in fifth. Dylan doing super well. Oh, will he be able to cross the line? Yes, he does. Very close battle there between Sly Pete and Dylan. Dylan managed to get him holding on to that sixth position, so a fantastic drive for him, doing exceptionally well considering not having the legs compared to the other vehicles on this track. Brandon Eels, we saw him with an epic battle through most of the race with himself and Gav, making that mistake and then dropping down to the 8th. Terry comes home in 9th. And in 10th position, Rockstar Mel. And I think it was Brandon DeSantos. Object number 11th position. And in 12th position, Brandon DeSantos. So unfortunately, I'm not too sure who would be coming into the lobby, but it definitely would be Christopher. Can we have Christopher, Morris, and Gavin join us in the Discord, please?
Sorry about the incident in the first chicane. Forgot to check my outside. It's all good.
No problem.
Racing Boets.
Okay, we'll just we'll get the guys through the Discord.
So while you're doing that, let's go to James. James, did you enjoy being in the commentary box?
Yeah, it was quite fun. Different perspective of racing, obviously. From Bravo and Alpha tier. Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it, and I also saw that the amount of maturity that is in the Alpha tier, especially waiting games, clean lines. So yeah, it was enjoyable.
Awesome, man. Glad you enjoyed. Thanks so much for stepping in and helping Ashley there. And Ashley, thank you once again for letting me have a drive. I did get better.
Thanks very much.
I did get better.
You did.
I started 12th, finished 7th, and then finished 6th. So I'll take that.
No, well done, Dylan. You did exceptionally well considering you were in a much underpowered vehicle, and I think quite a bit lucky because there were quite a few guys who went off. But that's part of racing. Yeah, you got to keep it on the black stuff to finish the race.
100%.
So we're just waiting for, I think, Christopher to come in.
Well done, Gavin.
Yeah, you too, man.
Yes, it was good battles there, man.
Yeah, it was good, man. Yes, and at the end when you passed me, my mirror fell off my wall and I got a fright and I was looking at it and I went into the grass.
Was that the object in the mirror?
Yeah, it should have been.
No, I had some good battles tonight, man. I'm telling you. I made that bugger up at the first race at the start. I spun out when I planted it at the start, and I
know you tapped me as well.
Yeah, I swung sideways, so I knew everyone behind me is going to connect me. But luckily, not too many people. I didn't damage too many people.
No,
I felt really silly, but I had a great time coming from last all the way up to fourth again. Again, loads of good battles. That was very cool. I enjoyed tonight. I must.
Well, thanks, Boris. I think you've just summed it up right there. Gav, while we're waiting for Christopher to join him, I'm not sure if you got the message. Can you tell us a little bit about your first race and then your second race? The first race, you obviously wasn't so great. As we heard there from Morris, you guys bumped on the start there. But you did manage to come back and then up into sixth position, then started on pole for the second race, had a brilliant battle there with Brandon, and then managing to finish in third. Just talk us through some of the highlights of your race.
Yeah, so obviously I got that tap from Morris in the beginning. I know it's an unfortunate racing incident, I would say. Luckily, not too much damage. Then I had the opportunity to work my way back. And I think the guys were battling. I think at one stage there were like 8 guys battling for second. Then also I think I got caught up with I can't remember. I think I was with Brandon again. And I was on the inside of that, going through that last corner, and then I just lost it. I had to gear down one more, and I think I just was too much on the throttle and lost it. But anyway, and I ended up back in about 8th or so, and I made my way back to 6th. It's always nice to 6th or 5th or so, because you get a good start in the second race, especially with a rolling start. So, and then second race, obviously started out in front. Myself and Brandon, we obviously don't want to bump each other off, but we had a really good battle. He passed me, and I passed him back, and obviously that gave guys behind us a chance to catch up. But Marius was quick around the track, so he was probably going to catch us anyway. Overall a good race. Like I said, my mirror fell off the wall, and it was just I got a fright, and I looked to see what was going on, and I went onto the grass. Hey, I don't know if you can see it on the floor there.
Wow.
Overall a very good race, and Chris, that car of yours on that straight, you just came straight past us. I don't know. I think you had some special juice in that thing or something.
It's not called Mr. Flat Out for nothing, Gav.
Yeah, I don't know how you do that. But good fun. And, looking forward to the last race.
Well done, Gav, and it was great to watch you guys battle there. And Morris, unfortunate start there, the first race. We were just saying, well done. Morris gets the first time. I think that was your first pole through this whole series, and you've been complaining that you don't get pole position. You never up the front, and then finally you get it. And then, unfortunately, making a bit of a hash of that. But a good recovery up into 6th position, and that gave you you ended up in 4th. That's correct. So you ended in 4th, and then a good start then for the next race. Tell us some of your highlights from the first and the second race.
Well, the start was definitely not the highlight. But the race was great fun. I had loads of battles all the way back to 4th. The second race was great. Unfortunately, I couldn't get to Christopher in one of the 2 races. I knew on the straight, even when I'm in his slipstream, that Aston Martin still pulls away. But in the cornering, I knew, so if I can be relatively close to him, I could still stick to him in some way or the other, but it didn't work out. But the battles I had with Gavin and Brandon, that was just awesome. Okay, that I enjoyed that fully. that kept me busy for the whole race.
Well, that was absolutely amazing to watch, and well done to you on your second position. And Mr. Flatout, you came here and you showed us exactly who's boss. You took the Aston Martin and you basically ran away from the whole field. Yeah, I mean, it must have been a pretty boring race for you. I know you did start from sixth position in the second race. Not too sure where you started in the first race, but talk us through your two races and what was the highlights for you.
Well, Christopher, before you do that, what happened to team orders? You're supposed to pull me through.
I threw the tow rope out. I don't think you caught it though.
No.
You were still 6 cylinders short, Dylan. That's probably the reason.
You're telling me.
I just want to say a big thanks to SARCO for letting me join tonight. It was great fun. As always, it's an awesome community. Always a pleasure to come and drive with the guys here. I only chose the Aston because I've driven it before. We had a fun series. I can't remember when, but I drove the Aston and I chose that. I had no idea what track and what weather conditions. So lucky for me that I got the fastest car in a straight line. And yeah, first race was great. I think I started fourth and made a mistake and spun at the second chicane. But luckily enough, I was able to catch the field again and then just drive my own race. Quite difficult to get it to turn, so just used quite a lot of rear brake bias, which is a bit tricky in traffic. So I had to change it up when I was in traffic. But other than that, it was plain sailing and just used all 12 cylinders down the straight. Second race was great. The guys drove very, very well. The battles and the fights were really good. And yeah, I just got to the front and put my head down, and that was that.
Well, absolutely great to watch, and thank you for joining us once again. And guys, if you want to come and join us, you want to be part of this fantastic racing between these brilliant drivers, come and become a member, come join us. Check out our Facebook page, check out our YouTube channel, and join us on our website at www.sarcoracing.co.za. We also have some merchandise up there, which all the proceeds from that goes towards running these live events and keeping the drivers coming back for more. Dylan, anything from your side?
So guys, don't forget, Deliver Your Parcel is the proud sponsor of this championship, and what we're going to be doing at the end of, it's actually Monday, is the last race. I've just realized that. And we are going to be going to Imola, my favorite track, but can I actually get a result there? I never get a freaking result at Imola. So
can I get a race there?
I'm sure we can.
Cool.
Just go check out Deliver Your Parcel. They are giving 3 lucky podium winners a chance to be in the July F400 karting series challenge. So I'm actually just looking at the picture. So Christopher, Marius, as well as Ashley have all had an opportunity to come and join us. So Gav, it looks like it might be your turn coming soon. Hopefully. And guys, it is an absolutely awesome day, and I can't wait for that race to happen. It is on the 26th of July, so we will definitely sort it out. 1 more week to go, and we will be just taking a little 2-week break while we just sort out the seasons coming up. A big thank you to James there in the middle. We haven't seen you before, but how's it? Welcome to SARCO.
Pleasure. Try and keep the monkey up, but now I'll show face at the end of the season. Yeah, it was personally, it was a learning curve for me, having my rig for only 2 months. So yeah, I can't wait for the next season, and just want to echo what Chris said. I think it's a very welcoming community. SARCO has definitely been on the top, so I've joined and tried a few, and I seem to stick around with you guys.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely well done. As I've mentioned before, I think there's no forum where a lot of the drivers get the amount of publicity that you guys give them. and you can see that it brings great drivers, and it is an online sport, but the respect is like it's real race cars. Personally, racing real race cars feels similar, so there's a very, very nice camaraderie that you guys share amongst yourselves.
Thank you very much.
James, thanks so much for the kind words. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys next week, and until then, keep racing.
Ashley, thanks for giving up your race for tonight.
It's fun.
Cheers, guys. Dylan.
Cheers, Morris. Cheers. So, guys, until we see you on Monday night again, don't forget our last race is coming up this Thursday on our ACC. So check out that, and then we'll be back on Monday for the final round of our GT3 Sprint Series. Guys, so until then, keep racing, and thanks for watching. Yos.
Cheers now.
Cheers, guys.